Alright guys, what's up? Iddqd here, and obviously I'm having a new pretty badass video for you guys. Today we're talking about tips and tricks. I guess we could be a little bit more advanced. I guess basic to advanced. It's 2-in-1, which is nice. We're gonna go through a couple spots that I'm sure some of you guys haven't even seen. A couple spots that I know some of you haven't seen. You know, I'm not really gonna go into a super massive depth into what it's talking about, but basically things to make quality of life in your Apex game a little bit better. When you're resurrecting someone, remember, press E first, then you allow yourself to jump. You can actually jump. Smart players will sometimes shoot you in the feet, but you can get away from that by holding E and then jumping in this direction. Even if someone's shooting you from far away, remember, you can jump while you're resurrecting players. Don't stand on top of it, stand next to it, press E, jump, and you will be able to jump while you're resting and while you're looking around. It can actually save you a couple times, and it saved me as well. Figured I'd share that tip as well. Another cool thing on the topic of death boxes is, let's say you're fighting at close quarters, you find a death box, right? Let's pretend this death box is in the middle here, right? Not the ideal position. Remember, when you kill someone, you can move their box for 4 seconds, or 3 seconds I think it is, until it becomes static onto the ground, right? But this death box in the middle, his teammate is over there, and you're low HP or whatnot. Remember that you have to loot the body here, but you can move quite a distance. Look at this. To loot everything that he has. That's pretty badass, eh? I think a lot of people don't know this. Remember what I said about the small tubes that you open up? I call them the medicine tubes. It's extremely important to be out of cover when people are throwing nades and stuff at you, but it's even more important to utilize it to its maximum potential. I see a lot of people stand like over here, or up top of here, or you know, standing here thinking they're safe. Go straight in. This will cover you from any flank explosions as well. These actually work. I've done it multiple times. Standing out in the open will not. Crouch, hide in, be more difficult, be annoying. If you're annoying, you'll survive longer. I don't know if you need more evidence than that, but yeah. Also, another thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to houses, right? So a lot of people tend to know, you know, the innings and outings of a house, right? I mean, you can enter with the door, right? Doors are quite simple. We already know about those. You have the windows. You have the small escape room right here as well. You know, it's quite simple, right? But every single house obviously have openings that you don't really have to. You don't have to aim through a window or through a door to get them to. And honestly, I don't see a lot of people do this. I want to touch base on this. Every single house has openings in the floor, the sides, or on top of the roof or whatnot. And I feel like it's quite important for me to cover this, because I don't see a lot of people do this. And when I do this on stream, people are like, oh my god, I didn't know about that. And I know most of you guys might know about this, but there's definitely people out there who don't. And like I said, every single building has some form of way to check who's inside, where they are. You know, this is mainly used to kind of get an understanding where they're at in here. I don't think you can grab onto this. Yeah, you can. But the point is, every single building has ways for you to check if there's someone in it without actually going inside of it. And you can also shoot through it. It doesn't matter. So use these small little openings to your advantage at any given time. I don't see enough people do this. I feel like it was required to cover this. And remember what I said. Every single building has an opening in the roof, in the side, in the back. It doesn't matter. You can almost always cover the entire house by just looking through entry points or openings or whatnot. Almost every single one of them. Here's a small little thing. Let's say you get chased, right? You close the door. Jump up on the radiator. This spot is here for a reason. A lot of people won't know about this one. And this radiator exists in a lot of houses as well. But it's such an easy access point, and it's good for hiding in, and I've used it a multiple of times, and it's saved my ass more than you can think. You can get on this one as well. This one is a little one as well. The cool thing is, a lot of these radiators exist in all the houses, and since you can walk upon in one of them in one house, that actually means you can walk upon all of them. When I said you can utilize every house to not having to walk into the doors, I actually meant it. All the houses, except the steel-cased ones, are is able to be exploited this way. These ones in particular. You can see all around from you standing up top. You don't have to go in. You don't have to take the fight. Every corner is almost always visible to the fact that you can be up here. They're extremely good. I've used them many, many times. Oh, I've gotten so many kills in this corner right here. Say you're fighting, right? You're jumping up here. Door's closed. You know he's in there. You don't have to take that fight. Here you go. A lot of people won't watch here. A lot of people won't watch here either. Know about these. Learn them. And they will increase your skill gap between other normal players quite a ton. This one, again, same thing. This is the two houses here. They're both the same design. Instead of taking the door, if you don't want to be seen, let's take this route right here. A lot of people don't know about this one, but this one's extremely good. And they've given me so many kills and not having to lose HP in big turnout fights. Remember the roofs again. They're very important. Again, utilize your environment to the best of your abilities. Always. Always. Now, this one is very, very tricky, and I'll be honest, I don't use this one a lot, but it have actually got me some poggers kills every once in a while. This is just an example. A lot of these buildings that are connected with other buildings in length, you see this one, right? It's connected with lots of buildings, and it usually has two windows right there and right there, right? Let's say you're fighting over here, right? And you know he's running. There's an easy way to deal with this. Prick out your thermite grenade or whatever you have, doesn't matter, and voila. You see this opening here? You can actually toss them in here. You can toss grenades, arc stars, it doesn't matter what nade you have, and you can even shoot if you really want to. That one is a little bit more difficult, or if you could time it with a peacekeeper, it doesn't matter. And almost every building that is connected like this have these openings on both sides. It's easier to look from the inside, but I'll show you what I mean. See these openings here? You can throw nades from the outside in to both corners. You can toss a nade here to lob into here. And if you get really good at this, you can actually start practicing just tossing a frag grenade in between here so it rolls in. And obviously you see I have ultimate, so yes, you can toss it in as well. So if you're caustic, you know what to do.
Breathe it in.
Look at that.
My vision is clear.
And remember, trees are actually your best friend. You can hide in all of these trees. All the ones with this graphic, the ones that are kind of lower on the ground, each and every one of them, you can hide in. It doesn't matter which one. They all have a way to get up in. You can hide in them, and it doesn't matter. It's just good for cover sometimes if you're being chased. This is a neat little spot right here as well. This one is actually quite crazy, considering you have so much cover up in this tree right here. This one is great for whenever there's parties going down, left, top. You know how often you can get sandwiched in here? Knowing the fact that this tree exists and that you can climb it, and if you stand in it, you'll be almost completely hidden. Even better, if you have a duo threat, you can avoid this fight completely. People generally don't look up in the trees at all when they're fighting. They don't. Coming from this side, they're fighting over there, you can barely be seen. When the tree has this kind of graphic to it, usually you should be able to climb it. I don't know about this one. This one might be a little bit different. Maybe you have to start up a little bit higher. Okay, there it is. Alright. So basically, if you can't do the tree from scratch, from the bottom, you can always use something next to you. This one is also really good. This one will save you from certain death as well. Anyways, guys, I wanted to tell you about my spot that I found by accident a couple weeks ago, at the beginning of launch. It's right here in Skulltown. It's in the four corners up here. I don't think I've ever been found out when I'm in these corners. Ever. No one's ever saw me. They've run past me. They felt like they've looked at me. They can't find me up here. Why is the spot good, you may ask? Ignore the circle. But let's say you're being chased, right? And you often are here. Close the door. And you roll straight up here, and bam. As long as you look like this, they won't see the glow from your gun or whatever you're using, and you're usually fine. Cool thing about this, There's 4 spots of these. Those are the 2 that I showed initially. There's one here as well you can hide in. This right here. And there's one over here. This one is sneaky. These are all good spots. Good for whatever reason. I advise you not to use any items up here though, so people don't know about you. But they are all close to exits from doors and whatnot. And I figured that this little spot right here is gonna help your Skulltown drops immensely, because I know a lot of you guys like to hot drop in Skulltown. I actually just wanted to do a little fun little edit here. We're gonna sit in my spot and see if anyone notices us.
They might be watching you.
Round 1. Beginning ring countdown.
Coming up is one of my favorite hiding spots. One of them is right here. You can walk around this entire thing. Doesn't really matter that much. But the fact that you can get up here in crazy situations, a lot of people tend to hide over here. It's not the best spot, right? It has never really been the best spot ever, actually. But the thing is, what you can do is you can get up on this little ledge right here, and there's a little cubby right here. It will usually safe from stuff. I've never seen anyone hide here, but this is what I hide when I jump down from each scenario here. And you can tell, this is right here. You walk up from this rope, straight over here. And people usually hide here, right? And you can tell, you can see from almost every direction where you're kind of at. But hiding up here takes away everything, knowing if you're there or not. So remember this little cubby. This one is really, really good. Easy access point as well. But I think my favorite in the game right now, that I haven't seen anyone use yet, except my party actually. Some people know this one, I know this for sure. But this one is my favorite. Let's become bridge trolls. This area right here, again, pretty much safe. You can fight basically everywhere on that bridge. Remember that you can be underneath the bridge as well. You can be, you just climb onto this little ledge here and then climb on the inside. And there you go. You can be under the bridge. This one is very useful, and I've used this many, many times before. Remember that if you run a little bit too fast here, you can get knocked off by hitting one of these wooden panels here on the side. But if you're careful, it should be fine. And remember, doors actually are your best friend. You can't get up here if it weren't for doors, right? If you're not Pathfinder, using doors to your advantage to get over obstacles that you normally wouldn't do is the best way to do this. Now, another thing I don't see enough people do, let's say you're up here, right? And you're not fighting Pathfinders. The only way up for them is to do the same thing, right? They will use the doors. But let's play with the idea that this door is gone. It doesn't exist. So your getaway sometimes will have to be through this route, right? You're in a firefight, you need to get out, whatever. It doesn't really matter what the reason is. But doors are your best friend for the reason that you can do this. And then while you're at it, destroy them. Don't let them stay there. And make sure that no one else can get up here. And the only way they can get up here is with help with a Pathfinder or a CP. A normal nade will do. It destroys both. Again, another usage of the fence that you couldn't do without the fence, or unless you're a Pathfinder. Make sure you know your scenario and environment behind you, and know that almost every building, every roof, every corner, no matter how hard it looks, usually always has a way up. Whether you're a Pathfinder or not, Pathfinder obviously makes it much, much easier, but you are also able to do this with using non-Pathfinder mechanics as well. You just need to look around a little bit, make sure you use your fences and doors to your advantage, and that should be good enough. Also, this little tree is climbable. See that?
They're aiming right at you.
Hey, stream, look, I'm playing with Iddqd and I'm fucking feeding.
I'm
Wait.
taller, I can bump it.
Placing a portal.
Oh my god!
Oh!
Let's try it.
What the fuck? How did you do that?
GB is a little bit thick, so this might not work. That worked. Get it. I feel like we're better off just not risking you.
So toxic, what the fuck?
There were people on top of the mountain just lasered me.
I wonder where he is. Oh, never mind. There you go. Sorry. Now you can get up here. My bad. The angle is weird. Yeah, sorry. The angle is weird. But you can get up here. Sorry. This is what I meant. So basically, when you come up, you can just do this. See, they've done something there. 100% they've done something. Because before, you can literally just tap it, and then you go, okay, there you go. And you can sit in the corner. And that pretty much wraps it up. I really hope that helped you. I know in this video there's a lot of tips and tricks, and they're kind of scattered across. It was rather difficult to put everything in one spot, and it's a lot of footage that I had to cut out. Not for the reason that it's not good enough. It just didn't feel, the quality didn't meet my standards, so I didn't feel like it just mashed well with the rest of the video that we had going on. So I just want to say thank you guys for watching anyways, and if you guys have any feedback, please let me know. Make sure you also hit me up on Twitter, guys. Handle is Iddqd, and on Twitch, where you can find me streaming literally every day, twice a day, 2 4-hour sessions. We fragging out on Twitch, dude. You can all see this live happening. Handle obviously is twitch.tv/Iddqd. But without further ado, thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you guys have to like what you see, you can always drop that little sub button and the bell button while you're at it, and share the video to your friends. Thanks so much for hanging out. This has been Iddqd. Peace!